Edwards travels across the globe for championship gold. Eddie Edwards, who's currently got to keep his mind focused on this title match and perhaps off of all the ongoing issues with Frankie Kazarian.
Kazarian and Edwards once again butted heads last night on Access TV. It's been announced that this coming Thursday we'll see Edwards versus Kazarian 2 on Access TV. Eddie Edwards has been consumed by this situation. They tried to be tag team partners against Bully Ray and Steve Macklin, and it just didn't work out. Both casting aspersions at each other that they weren't truly backing each other up, and even Frankie Kazarian taking exception with Edwards, swearing that he had his back on the grave of Killer Kowalski.
Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. 'Cause London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Meanwhile, the digital media champion comes to New South Wales to see if the inspiration has gone worldwide and if the people here in Australia indeed believe.
232 days as the digital media champion, the longest digital media title reign of all time. The previous record was set by Brian Myers. Hendry has smashed that by 100 days and now set to defend the digital media title for the first time ever in Australia.
Joe Hendry is in a good mood. And the reason is because Impact Wrestling is making its debut in Australia. In Wagga Wagga of all places, a town so great they had to name it twice. But there's two other very special words you need to know when Joe Hendry enters the room, and that is, we believe. But you know what? Since we're on holiday, we need to include Eddie, don't we? Shall we include Eddie? Eddie, I prepared a special chant just for you, and it goes like this. Eddie sucks. But back to the positives. What they believe in is 252 pounds of pure motivation. The answer to all life's problems. They believe in Joe Hendry.
Well, that's just not fair. That's called preconditioning. And I'm pretty sure in the Pro Wrestling Handbook under Section C, Article 2422, you cannot precondition a crowd. Yeah, you didn't know this? How long have you been in the business?
We had to precondition all the crowds that you went in front of to let people know that you were a competent wrestler. I mean, this is normal.
Oh, please. Eddie Edwards here, though. Not going to take too kindly to that, and he might just end up taking Joe Hendry's title.
First time ever matchup, Edwards one-on-one with Hendry. First time that the digital media title has ever been defended in Australia. These two have been on the opposite sides of some multi-man tag team matches earlier this year on Access TV and, of course, at Multiverse United. Only the strong survive late in March in Los Angeles.
But here, mano a mano. And I'm just thankful Joe Hendry didn't make a Men at Work inspired music video here to run down Eddie Edwards ahead of this contest. As much as I appreciate the creativity, we're here to get some work done.
And Hendry controlling Eddie Edwards. This is just 24 hours after, well, at least 24 hours our time in the U.S., that This basically was the night that the stripper Kenny video debuted for all the Impact Wrestling fans to see.
That's what I was hoping to avoid. Thank God, again, we didn't get one of those here. But it's just a step too far with everything with Kenny King. One step too far.
How is that a step too far? I'd say Kenny King earned that to get kind of, made fun of a little bit in front of the fans. Kenny needed some humbling.
After all the things Kenny King has been trying to not only mentor someone, a young man like Sheldon Jean, respectfully offered the Digital Media Championship back to Joe Hendry when he could have blasted his head off with it the other week. But no. Let's just run the man down for being a working man.
Oh, forget it. Now Edwards trying to control Joe Hendry. Eddie Edwards, a two-time Impact World Champion, former X Division Champion, multi-time Impact World Tag Team Champion, trying to add the Digital Media title to his fabulous resume, but he's bounced out of the ring by Hendry.
Edwards taking a moment here to reassess. Of course, this crowd who was there. There it is. There it is again. The poor guy didn't even have a chance, thanks to Joe Hendry. Luckily, Eddie Edwards has never been bothered by trying to win over crowds' favor.
Edwards climbs back into the ring so the matchup can continue.
Now, maybe a little test of strength here, looking to fake out the Digital Media Champion here a little bit, getting his head, slow things down a little bit.
A kick right to the midsection, the elbow to the back of the neck, and Eddie Edwards saying he's just a little too smart for Hendry.
He baited the Digital Media Champion in on that one. And now, Hendry firing back.
Oh, now Hendry hit with a chop, runs right through it, and a shoulder tackle.
The plans of Eddie Edwards not coming to fruition early on here. And now let's see what the 252 pounds of pure motivation can do.
Now Edwards whipped into the corner. Hendry blocked with a boot.
Now off the top. A little bit of a swing and a miss there down under from Eddie Edwards.
Edwards thought he was too smart for Hendry, and Hendry a little too quick there for Eddie Edwards. And now look at the strength of Joe Hendry to get Eddie Edwards up.
That is no small feat. Now you see a squat there as well for good measure.
To retain his championship, and a kick out by Edwards.
And I want to point out that was a kick out pretty much right at the 1 count. There's still plenty of fight left in Eddie Edwards.
Well, that's the one thing we've come to know about Eddie Edwards over the years. That term die hard is extremely true. I think it's curious. His wife, Alicia Edwards, is not here with him tonight. That helped him in the past many times.
His ride or die always at his side. But Eddie Edwards got to the top of this business, got to the top of Impact Wrestling on his own, and he can do that here tonight as well.
Oh, now Edwards lying in wait, tossing Hendry outside the ring. Hendry back up to his feet, frustrated by that, rushes right after Edwards, inverted atomic drop and a clothesline.
And that's what Edwards is going to have to rely on this one. We know how confident Hendry can get, but the veteran instincts, the intelligence of Eddie Edwards, that's what's going to get him the victory tonight.
Look at the chest of Joe Hendry after the chops from earlier on by Edwards.
That nasty side of Eddie Edwards coming into play in full force. That's right.
Edwards is trying to keep Joe Hendry down. The second Hendry gets things moving, builds momentum, he's so difficult to stop. And another a chop to the chest.
And that's that strong style that someone like Eddie Edwards has honed on this side of the world all his time through Japan.
Oh, and a
He
thumb to
brings
the eye.
all of that, yes, right here to Australia. And the mind games continue for Eddie Edwards.
Former GHC world champion in pro wrestling. Noah, to your point.
Now
snapmare.
Just slowing it down, grinding the digital media champion down. Eddie Edwards knows if he's got control, he can take his time here. Hendry letting the crowd motivate him, it seems.
Oh, Hendry back up to his feet, series of uppercuts. This is what I was telling you about. As soon as Hendry built a little momentum, Edwards made sure it stopped. Here's the cover, trying to win the title and a kick out.
Hendry seemed like he was inspired himself there, got back to his feet very quickly, but like you said, immediately shut down, and now a little bit of trash talk of his own, Eddie Edwards to Joe Hendry.
Plain
toying with him.
This is plain disrespect by Eddie Edwards.
I think it's a show of dominance by the former Impact World Champion.
I think Joe Hendry's had enough of people disrespecting him. Kenny King putting his hands on the championship a few weeks ago on Access TV. And another thumb to the eye by Edwards, a cheap shot. Oh, and Hendry out of the corner with a clothesline. And look at the digital media champion go.
All the disrespect, all the mind games just made Joe Hendry angrier as he tees off here on Edwards, and look out.
On the fallaway slam.
And Hendry now back to a vertical base. Back to 100%, it seems, vibing off the crowd here in Australia.
Chance of We Believe here in Wagga Wagga, Australia. Was going for the standing ovation. Eddie Edwards able to block it, and a straight headbutt there.
Hendry teeing up here. There it is.
Oh! Beautiful cutter. Is it enough to retain the title, and a kick out by Eddie Edwards?
No, not quite enough. Going to take more than that to put Eddie Edwards away. Joe Hendry may be the longest reigning digital media champion that we've had so far, but I don't know. This has got to be one of his toughest opponents to date.
Now thinking about a power bomb here. Eddie Edwards wisely dropping down to a knee, dropping his body weight to make it harder on Hendry.
Countering more. There it is. Big back body drop from Edwards.
Hendry again back up to his feet. Oh, now and a pop-up power bomb by Hendry. Another feat of strength. Oh, but cannot put away his title challenger.
And it is that strength, that power of Joe Hendry that's led him to so much success, his explosiveness. Eddie Edwards is going to have to make a quick recovery here and again rely on his veteran instincts to shut this momentum down.
Hendry once again was trying to get Edwards back up, went for the lariat. Blue Thunder Bomb to win the digital media title. Kick out by Hendry.
That was a good start there, a good start to a counter offensive from Edwards. Able to kind of slow down Joe Hendry for a minute there, but still not enough to bring the gold back home.
I think the fans are starting to get back into the head of Eddie Edwards. Maybe a little frustration that he can't put away Joe Hendry, and then you add the fans on top of that.
I think this is a mistake. I don't like to say it from Edwards here.
Does this surprise you? I mean, this is the man who turned on the fans to lead Honor No More last year.
Exactly. I would have thought he'd been able to shut them out. I really hope he can turn this focus inward, inside the ropes here. focus on Joe Hendry and the digital media title. There you go. That's the one.
Close range knee strikes, softening up Hendry, trying to go for the Tiger Driver, up onto the shoulders. Look at Hendry. Trust fall.
That momentary distraction may cost Edwards here big time.
Huge clothesline there in the corner. Now trying to set up Eddie Edwards on the top turnbuckle. What is Hendry going for here? Edwards able to slip down. Power bomb to Hendry.
Earlier it was Hendry who got the power bomb. Now return in kind.
Wait a minute. Oh, he wanted the Boston knee party. Ran right into the standing ovation. Hendry retains against Edwards.
Amen. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I have to imagine that rare mistake from Eddie Edwards, letting this crowd that Joe Hendry turned on him, the crowd that Joe Hendry manipulated, cost Eddie Edwards the Digital Media Championship. Joe Hendry holding on.